And we're back. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me on the Pocket Party Podcast. If it's your first time here, welcome aboard. And if you've listened before, thanks for coming back. I know you have a lot of options, and I just want to thank you for keeping us in the mix of all your favorite podcasts. Thank you so much.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. I know that he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, listen to our Pocket Party. Pocket Party.
And hello, we have Mike Black on the hotline.
The hotline.
The hotline. I know. Oh, dude, I'm back in town, man. I was on the road for a week, and
How was that?
it worked out perfect because I happened to be up at the farm getting ready to do country bumpkin activities. And
Yes, flopping the hogs and whatnot.
yeah, exactly. All that good, dealing with floodwaters and crazy rain and all that good stuff. And then it did get sunny a little bit, but yeah, it was getting ready to, let me go check out the roof on the barn and see how the cats are doing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but it was wild because it worked out perfectly in a comedian's world where you have shows coming up. So
Yeah.
normally I'd go up there and be like, well, there's no Wi-Fi here. I might as well check out these binoculars and see what I can see. It's like it's kind of like the computer,
Yeah. Right.
So I, by the way, the Wi-Fi was very slow this time, and I uploaded a couple of. I'm like, well, at least I can upload TikToks and Facebook Reels and YouTube because they're usually like 18 seconds, 30 seconds, but it was so slow. I ended up leaving the actual farmhouse and walking out, standing on top of a tire and holding my phone up to the sky like they do. And I'm like, oh, wow, I actually get 5G out here. Like, I got 5G, but then inside it's like 4G, 1 bar. Like,
And everyone that sees you is like, that guy's doing some sort of science.
yeah. He's from the city. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of kidding. I didn't really have to hold my hand up. I would hold my hand up inside because I'm like, well, maybe if I hold it by a window,
Right.
I've got to get this. I really got to get this TikTok out there. Stat. So
Like
but-
that bit, I forget who did it, but on the old phones it had the little antenna on it.
Oh yeah.
It's like that makes a difference. The call's going to space.
Yeah.
That one little inch of plastic is not going to do anything.
Yeah. But try telling that to the ladies. Hey, come on, ladies, an extra inch is always going to help.
Yeah.
But I was it worked out good because we planned on going up there for spring break anyway, and I know a lot of people are like, is that where people go on spring break now? They go on farms, but
Yeah. Right.
I'm getting a little bit of feedback. I wonder what that is. Let me try to turn something down over here on my end. Okay, so, but
I have the. Is that a little bit better?
yeah, that's better. Yes, that is better.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
had the volume all the way up. It was like you were yelling at me, so that's probably what it was.
Oh yeah, probably and I worked out where I was going to do 3 theaters, working with this comedian named Chingo Bling, who used to do like comical raps, like real raps, and mostly like with the Spanish kind of like influence. And he's from Houston, Texas, and he would do
Chingo Bling,
and he would do characters, and he did stand up, and he does stand up, and he kind of transferred over to like stand up, and man, that guy like
Wait, hang on.
yeah.
He did stand up. He does stand up, and he transferred over to stand up.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, well, okay.
But the unemployment officer going to want to talk with you about this.
Yeah. So you're transferred. You're trans. No. He was always yeah.
You were a stand-up, and you transitioned to being a stand-up.
Stand up. Well, I guess like he did like comical rap. See, I always thought he was like a comical rapper. Like I would see him back on the MySpace days. That's how like long this guy's been in the game. I was like,
Wow,
he's like
yeah.
I used to, in my mind, he's like sort of a Mexican Weird Al Yankovic, but it's kind of serious because it looks like there'd be like groups of people like around the lowrider, like yeah, and he'd be rapping I'm Jingo, I slay the tamales. I'm not. I don't even know the words, but that kind of thing. That was the vibe. I'm the tamale.
Countdown to you getting wildly racist,
I
trying
know
to make up
exactly.
your own lyrics.
Yeah, it turns out, dude, that's none of my act. There was no,
Yeah,
but it would like,
that's your own white commentary on my life.
the way I interpreted it was, yeah, but it was, I remember he had like I want to say like these ostrich cowboy boots with like a Nike swoosh. So it's kind of like comical, but funny, but with the, on the,
Yeah.
I think it was definitely something like the Tamale Kingpin or something. I don't know. He had like some, but and there's like a song that anyway. So he opens a show with it's a song like that's the thing that I don't. It's like I thought it said Puro Party like Puro Puro Party put up, but it's not what it is. It's Puro something else. But the crowd goes nuts and they go crazy. But I guess he's always done like characters and wigs and then of course now it's perfect for like the TikTok world. Like he'll play like he's Canelo Alvarez or whatever, and
yeah.
You fuck up, man. You get the fuck out of here, man. He like does those characters, and I can't do it, but he does it.
At first, I thought you said Purell Party too, and I was like, "Oh, that's
it's a Purell Party."
In the pandemic,
Yeah, like I looked up one of his videos, and it had like, gosh, man, like 280,000 views, like some music video, and
wow,
he put up a few years ago. Yeah, but anyway, so he sells out, and like we do these shows. It was great because he's like, "Hey, are you available to do Fresno, Merced, Visalia?" And I'm like, perfect. And here's what I want to say. Like, I want to give this as a motivation to any comedians that are listening or anybody that's trying to do something, to not block your own blessing, as they say. Because it turns out the promoter was somebody I had worked for before. I used to do a lot of shows with them. And, I haven't done it. And, I had a lot of, like, over the years, like, unanswered emails or text messages. Like, he never got back to me. And I always just kind of thought, well, I'll check in once or twice a year. But he never even wrote back. And I don't, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he changed numbers. I don't know. But for whatever reason, I show up to the thing, and he was the promoter. And I was a total gentleman, and he was cool, and everything was cool. And, dude, after the first night, he goes, "I want to bring you back." And I'm telling you, Mike, I don't know if it's because of my performance, but my professionalism, like this, the promoter who I used to be in my own head and think, "Oh, the guy doesn't like me anymore." Like, he was totally nice to me and great. And they gave me a very gracious text message. And that just goes to show people sometimes we get in our own head where we're like,
absolutely, absolutely. I was just last night, I was at the Comedy Store. I was watching Eleanor Kerrigan, who was taping her special. And she crushed it. She did.
Nice. Awesome.
But a comic that I knew came up and was like, "Hey, do you have any advice?" Comics at any of the major clubs in LA, it's a goal to try and get in there, to try and become a regular there. And so he was asking me, he was like, "Do you have any advice? Because I'm kind of like, I'm doing everything I can think of, but I'm just not where I want to be at this club." And I was like, you have to think of it from their perspective, like whoever the booker is, that it's like they're at a buffet, and they just ate this humongous meal that they thought was amazing, right? They had so many good choices, and they got to eat this amazing meal. And the waiter comes over and goes, "Oh, you're not done. You have to fill up 3 more plates before you can leave."
Oh.
But I'm stuffed. Yeah, but there's 3 more plates of delicious, delicious food waiting for you. And there's also a truck backing up with even more food, so you're going to have to take a few to-go bags.
Oh, that's a great analogy. And also,
that's how LA comedy is. The scene is so saturated.
And maybe they're like, we have to give you this dish because one of the top chefs in LA provides these dishes, and if we don't accept these dishes, then that chef won't help us bring food.
Exactly.
And then, so they have to,
like, we're going to give you that chicken parmesan that you really want, but you're also going to have to take these green beans. But I'm stuffed. I'm full. I know. But keep eating, because there's a lot more coming. Yeah. And we have to give it to you.
And we're like, and we're thinking, okay, now I'm a green bean. How do I become a chicken parmesan?
Right, exactly. And it's like, it's so tough. It's so difficult to separate yourself. And the best advice I can give to anybody is when you get out here, the three, I would say the three major clubs in the LA area, and I'm not trying to diss any of the other ones, but are the Improv, the Laugh Factory, and the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm. The Triangle,
And
right there. Boom, Hollywood Triangle. Yep.
those are the ones right in Hollywood that you need to at least try to get into. And the advice that I would give is don't try things out there.
Oh,
Like,
dude, that's great. This guy gave a great analogy, and he's from your home state, Colorado. He said, some clubs you go to, some stages you go to shine your shoes, other shows you go to show them off.
Right. Those are the show-off places.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
everywhere else, feel free to try stuff out and experiment and play around. But when you're at those three, deliver. Just crush as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say, I can't control that. You can't, but you can control, I'm going to do crowd work, or I'm going to try new bits out, or I'm going to try a bit that I know is kind of shaky. All of that stuff, leave at the other places.
Yeah.
You know, while you're showcasing. Once you're a regular, if you feel confident that stuff works, do it. But keep in mind, if you fail,
Yeah.
there's a lot of other green beans. You know,
a lot of green beans. Exactly. Yeah.
and
man.
a lot of other shoes that are a lot shinier.
that are
you
ready
know?
and ready to show off. Yeah. They,
Like someone like I do, and you're doing it a lot too. I close out the show late at night, and sometimes when you do that, one of the few benefits of that is you get to go a little bit longer.
yeah.
And one of the comics was talking to me. He was like, I would love to be doing that, to do that kind of thing. He was like, just the freedom to just have that much stage time. And I was like, there's freedom, but at the same time, I have to deliver.
Yeah.
I can't just,
What do you guys want to talk about?
write on stage or try out, half and half stuff, because there's fallouts after me, or there's Don Barris after me, or someone like that, where it's like, even though the lineup is technically done and the audience may be done,
Yeah. Yeah.
if I walk them every night, they're just going to put someone else in that spot, you know?
Oh, 100%. And it's going in the middle like this, like I did this week. It was like there was an opener, Chris Cruz. Shout out to Chris Cruz.
Chris Cruz.
Great comedian, man. He was great, and he would just kill it out there. And right away, he'd get big jokes, big laughs right away. Boom. And then...
Well, he sounds like a bastard.
Yeah, he's great. And then I'd go... it was like a cakewalk, man. Compared to what you just said, like how you and I being like closing these rooms, like at the Comedy Store, like OR in the main room, and they've seen 3.5 hours of comedy or whatever. And it's like... it was great to go out there when they were like fresh and amazing. And anyways, I was going to read this real quick. I love this. And this is more for myself, but I remember I told you a long time ago, and I still haven't done this, and I need to put this in there. I go, Mike, do you have a smile file?
Oh, yes.
And we did a
I
video.
remember you asking about
That was a great video, and what that is, you guys, is, keep a little folder somewhere you can easily access any kind of positive affirmations, any quotes you like, anytime someone says something positive, even a funny story, a good song that you just, every time I hear this, it makes me happy, and call it the smile file. And this is going to go right into the smile file. Yeah.
Oh,
You're like, you can
God.
stick that smile file up, yo. No, but
Is it right next to Wake Me Up Before You Go Go?
oh, maybe I should put that song in there. Wake me
You're
up.
like, now that I think about it.
Now that I think about it, all of Wham. No,
Yeah.
but they,
I celebrate the entire catalog.
yeah. Did you? By the way, on a side note, before we get to the smile file, have you heard of a song called Wham Rap?
No.
It was Wham. It was they go Wham, Bam. I am a man. Job or no job, you can tell me that I'm not. Do you enjoy what you do? If you don't know that song.
No.
No, oh man, I thought that was one of the. I thought it was.
Have we met?
I thought it was this huge big rap song, but apparently not everybody knows it.
It probably is, but it's not for me.
Yeah,
I don't listen to Wham rap.
I listen to real rap.
Listen to the first 4 words of that song, and that should have told you I'm out. I don't want to be part of this song.
It's called Enjoy What. Yeah. It goes, wham, bam, I am a man, job or no job. You can tell me that I'm not. Do you enjoy what you do? If not, just stop. Don't stay there and rot. Yeah. But they sing it, though, with their falsetto voices. And then here comes... and then,
it sounds like a sensational song.
oh, yeah. And then George Michael comes in. Hey, everybody, take a look at me. I've got street credibility. I may not have a job, but I have a good time with the boys that I meet down on the line. I said, I don't need you. You know this part? You don't approve? Well, who asked you to? Hey, jerk, you work. This boy's got better things to do. Hell, I ain't never gonna work. Get down in the dirt. I choose to cruise. Gonna live my life sharp as a knife. I found my groove and I just can't lose. A1. Anyways, it just goes on, but I'm a soul boy. I'm a dole boy. Take pleasure in leisure. I believe in joy. Wham, bam, I am a man. Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is back when I thought they were getting chicks, because it's like party nights and neon lights. Yeah, should have known. Party nights and neon lights. We hit the floors. We hit the heights. Dancing shoes and pretty girls. Oh, shit. Here we go. Boys in leather. Kiss girls in pearls. Hot damn, everybody, let's play. You would like this part. So they promised you a good job? No way. The whole crowd goes, no way. 1, 2, 3, rap. Come on, everybody. Don't need this crap. Oh, they cussed back then.
Wow, that song is terrible. What a terrible song.
I heard it. Here's where I heard it. I heard it on vacation when we were in Kansas. and I recorded it off the radio. This is back in the 80s. And I remember the DJ was like, and here it is, wham rap. And I was like, and I just listened to it over and over. I thought it was so good. There's like whistles that blow like.
So wait, you were listening to it unironically?
Yeah, like I was 15. I was in my rap phase. I thought they were like rappers. I didn't know what they were. They were like,
these guys in Milli Vanilli are gonna make it.
Yeah, because remember they had that other song called Bad Boys. Do you remember that one? Wham.
Doesn't a girl sing that?
I don't know.
Woo-hoo.
Dear mommy, dear daddy, you had plans for me. Oh yeah, I was your own. Oh, that's a song. I'm sorry. I was your only
trouble. Bad boy.
Bad boys. Stick together, never sad boys. Do 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 do. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, never sad boys.
Good boys. They make rules for fools. Get wise. Do 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 do. Oh my gosh.
I would love to see the Fresno street crew you had that would sing this song.
Oh, I know. Well, there was a phase where me and my other foster brothers who all had red hair, we started a gang when we were 11, and we were calling ourselves the Poison Boys. And I remember I spray painted it on the back. I spray painted Poison Boys on a piece of scrap wood in the backyard, and I got in trouble for it. I was like,
the Poison Boys.
I know, it's so stupid. I was like, we just coincidentally all had
gang name I've ever heard.
Well, we all coincidentally had red hair. We didn't plan it that way. We were just
Poison Boys for life.
Poison Boy. Well, no, we were Poison Boys until we got on restriction. Until we got in trouble.
Yeah, until you got in trouble for it. Then
like, okay, enough of this Poison Boy.
That was the end of the Poison Boys.
Yeah, that was right when I was like, oh, wow, there's gangs. We're going to join a gang. We're going to make our own gang. We'll be the Poison Boys.
After that, after you guys got in trouble, you should have started working on your posture and become the Poise Boys.
The Poise Boys. Well, I do remember one time, and gosh, I remember we would just do stupid shit when I was like, but I actually stopped doing all this. Like I remember writing letters of apology on my own accord. Like no one told me to do it. And I know this is so stupid, but I did though. Like I remember
warmest regards, the Poison Boys.
Yeah.
Please accept our apologies.
Yeah. Dear Mr. I know, like there was this church, and I remember like we thought it was fun to like kick over his garbage can and then run, and like,
yeah.
Well, I wrote him an apology letter. I mean, just it's so dumb.
So you were basically the kids in Sleepers. Did you ever see that movie?
No. What is it?
Oh, you've never seen Sleepers?
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Wow, what a great movie! Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman, Jason Patrick. But it's all about these kids in New York.
Oh.
That are just like young, like troublemaking teenage kids, and they steal a hot dog cart and they think, oh, harmless fun. You know, they're running off with this guy's hot dog cart, and he's like, "Hey, come back here," you know.
Yeah.
And they go around, and you know, New York has a lot of those apartments that are below ground, so you have to go down a set of stairs.
Yeah.
To get to them. And they're running with the cart, and they're trying to get away, and so they think, "Oh, we'll dodge over here." They dodge over to the side. The cart goes down the stairs and kills a guy.
Oh, snap.
Right. So they get sent to juvie.
Whoa.
Where
That's
the people in juvie, like the guards, are kind of like messing with them and stuff, like in a bad way.
Yeah.
20 years later, 2 of them become like successful business guys. One of them's a lawyer. One of them's like just a successful businessman. The other 2 become like hardcore criminals, and they run into one of the guards eating dinner at a pub, and they blow him away.
Whoa.
Like right there in the pub. And so then the other 2 have to defend them, have to like help get them out of jail and stuff. And it's all about like that guard had it coming, like in a big way. It's a phenomenal movie, but it all starts with like this harmless like prank gone totally wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to see it, it's a.
I'm so happy none of that stuff happened. You're right though. That's how dumb things can happen. You know.
Yeah, the stuff can escalate. You don't even have to be doing anything wrong, and you can end up like, in a situation like that. You know,
I knew it was starting to get out of hand because we were doing like more and more dumb stuff. Like nothing crazy though, but a lot of just stupid stuff. Garbage can. He's chasing us. This is funny. And plus, there it's foggy. It's very foggy in the morning, so it was very easy to just like do something and then run away and disappear into the fog. Like. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of fun, actually.
Like ninjas.
Yeah, like honestly, it was very foggy. I mean, you couldn't see
teenage redheaded ninjas.
Yep, the poison boys. Yeah. I mean, it's so foggy. Sometimes you would barely see the end of your car. Like it wasn't that foggy when we would do this, but like you really couldn't see like past 30 feet. Like you would just disappear.
That would be such a traumatic thing if you're in the fog and 4 redheaded boys come out and go, "We're the poison boys," and steal all your stuff and then disappear back into the fog.
But with our red hair, we're glowing like Rudolph. They're like, "I see you light bulb head, motherfucker." Yeah.
They're like, "What happened?
What happened? I just got hit by the daytime." No.
Yeah. By the daytime.
They disappeared into the fog. We're the same color as the fog, basically, except for our bright red hair.
It was really bright for a second, and then all my shit was gone.
It was weird. It was like the top of a tower came and just punched me.
I just heard some giggling, and that was it.
I remember we kicked a fence at this apartment complex. I don't even know why we did. We were like, "Let's kick this fence." And we're all kicking it, like seeing who could break it. And then I remember this black dude came out. See, now it's funny, looking back now, he might have been in his 20s, but we were like, "He's a grown up." And he goes, "Hey, hey." And he grabbed one. We all split, but then he grabbed the slowest one, not me. And not that I am pretty slow though.
Yeah.
And then we're like, "What happened to John?" And then we went and cut. And so we're like, "Well, I guess we'll just turn ourselves in and go find out." And so we went to of course, the office manager, and they were in there, and the cops had already been called. And I remember the black guy was really nice, actually. He was stern. Yeah. He was like, "Y'all should be watching cartoons, man. What you doing kicking people's fences? Y'all should be home watching cartoons, man. You kids."
He raises a solid point.
I know.
You should have been home watching Thundercats instead of doing that.
I know. Like I said, we were like at that time, I think we were 10 and a half or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was right around that time. I know I was in elementary school still. And then I remember the cops came, and I remember I sat in the front seat. The 2 other poison boys were in the back seat. And the good news is my mom, we were latchkey's kids, so my mom she didn't get out of work until like I think 4. She wasn't home till 4:30 or something, and it was still like 3:30. So we're like, okay. And then he dropped us off at one of the neighbors' house, which was this kid John.
Right.
And he Latino, the only non-redhead.
He was the wild card in the group.
He was the wild card. He was our neighbor, basically. He was just in the crew because he lived next door. And
he's not a poison boy. He's poison boy adjacent.
Yeah. And so
He's an associate of the Poison Boys.
He's an associate, Poison Boy and Associates.
Yeah.
And I remember the cop said this to me, and it was, he goes, man, once again, another motivational speech. He goes, what y'all doing, man? He goes, if I take you to juvie right now, they would rearrange your freckles.
He's absolutely right.
That's what he said. I know. And I was like,
Yeah.
rearrange my freckles. Like, and I was like, like that was a wake up call. The whole thing was just like, okay, this is getting, once the cops get involved and you get these, and we got let off.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't,
Well, you were white.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the 80s, This is
Yeah, you were a white kid in the 80s.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, I don't want to out anybody, but can you tell me the other members of the Poison Boys? Can you describe them a little bit?
I think their name, I don't remember because they were like foster kids. Like they might have left.
Did they have like code names?
No, their names were like simple names like Brian, Mark, John. I mean, they were all just. Yeah, it was just like, and I remember there was like just three of us, and then like occasionally other kid, like the kid John or whoever would hang with us, but it was like.
Yeah, Brian, Mark, and Darren are not the names of.
Yeah, we're the morning show. It's Mark, Brian, and Darren. Yeah. John on the street team.
Yeah, John with the weather.
Yeah, exactly. I'm standing out here in the rain, guys. But yeah, after that, I was like, man, I gotta figure something out and not do this anymore. And
Now, did you have to tell the Poison Boys that you were breaking up with them?
No, I think they pretty much knew when I was like, man, we gotta and plus we were going to church a lot, so I was just thinking about like, man, this isn't what Jesus wants. Like I gotta like follow the, I don't know. I felt like I was, I gotta like, I think I got born again right about then or something. I don't know, I got baptized right around that same time, and I was like, man, I gotta change my life. This is not gonna end well. Like just. It starts out like you said. What if you did like the shopping cart or the hot dog cart and you kill someone?
Right, yeah.
I mean, I don't think we were that dangerous, but you never know. What if you did something in the fog and there was a car wreck and then boom, and it was these kids, they did that, and,
Next thing you know, you're in prison. They're like, what are you in for, Tahoe Joe?
Exactly.
I was running with the Poison Boys.
And we kicked over the preacher's garbage can, and he had a heart attack, and next thing, you know what I mean? Seriously.
It rolled down the street and hit a cement mixer.
Yeah. You just don't know shit when you're young on certain the aspects of consequences. I remember another thing that we would do, which was not really wrong, but it is. You're not supposed to, it's wrong. It's not illegal, but it's just wrong. We used to think it was so fun to go on the roof, right? Like up on the roof. I used to listen to oldies. And so parents are gone. And so, all four of us would be up on the roof of our house. And I'm like, and now you get older and you're like, oh man, like people have been, Artie Lang, like his father fell off a roof and got paralyzed. I mean, things can happen to you that are,
Sure.
I wouldn't want my kid up there on a roof with his friends. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Roofs, everyone thinks that they're like the same ground that is used in the floor.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's a lot more delicate stuff, and it can give, and it's uneven, and there's like pipes hanging out of it and shit.
Yeah, you could trip, slip, fall. It could be wet. I mean, you don't know. It could, very slick. I was looking at something and it said like cedar wood. Like sometimes the roofers will put spikes. They have spiked boots so they don't. But then they said the downside of that is it does poke tiny little holes in your roof.
Right.
You're like, well, I don't want to slip, but then again, I'm creating more business for these little holes.
Yeah. Oopsie daisy.
Oopsie daisy. But I was thinking of that phrase when I said earlier when I was going in the middle of the show when the crowd's very fresh and they've been warmed up, but they're not too tired and they're excited that the headliner's coming out, but you're in the middle. And I said the phrase cakewalk. And I looked up the origination of cakewalk. Do you have any idea what that is?
I'm going to take a guess.
Yeah.
That it was something to do with royalty, getting to test out a lot of different cakes for weddings or something like that.
Well, according to the number one Google search, it says the cakewalk was a pre-Civil War dance originally performed by slaves on plantation grounds.
I was totally off. It's the other end of the spectrum.
Exactly. The uniquely American dance, that's cool. Oh, American too, was first known as the prize walk. The prize
Nothing
was
to brag about, Darren.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool. It's an American thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The prize
Our
was
national thing is an American thing.
yeah. The prize was an elaborately decorated cake. Hence prize walk is the original source of the phrase takes the cake and cake walk. That's according to some source. I don't even know where it came from, but that's just what came up. But then I went on further and it said legendary performers Charles Johnson, Dora Dean were the dance's greatest popularizers. The cakewalk contestants were a staple of Manhattan nightlife in the turn of century for whites as well as blacks. So that's another definition. Aww. Yeah. Workers can either move or dance in a circular fashion. After a couple of minutes, then they shut the music off, and each participant must claim the number closest to their spot. The cakewalk leader then chooses a number from the bowl, and the person standing on that number wins. Oh, that's cool.
Their freedom or just cake?
Yeah, they're cake. They all win cake. Yeah.
Not that great a prize.
Dude, they should do that at the Comedy Store for these like potluckers, you know? Like, you guys want to do a cakewalk? And then
Dude, I would not suggest that. Like,
it would turn into a mosh pit, right?
yeah. Just now that we know the history of it, that's the last thing you should suggest.
Exactly. Hey, Mike and Darren came up with this idea.
Mike had nothing to do with it. Darren came up with that idea.
Yeah, exactly. Mike was just there to listen to it, and he was like, he said no. Yeah.
Mike listened under protest to this horrible idea.
Yeah. Oh, I got another idea for you. No, but actually, before I wrap up the San Joaquin Valley tour, I got to tell you, and I don't know if you've done this, but if there's a place that you've ever, when you first started comedy, if you ever dreamed of like one day I'll perform there, what's it like? It's interesting if you ever do get to perform there and you go back and you just look at yourself now and today, the age you are now and the experience and you know, and this for me was that area because I performed at the Tower Theater in Fresno, and Tower Theater has been around since the 20s. And when I moved out of my parents' house and I went to community college up the street from that Tower Theater, I lived in the neighborhood. I used to walk. Excuse me. I used to walk over there, and it's kind of like the West Hollywood of Fresno, if you will. It's like a few blocks of like, you know, that's where like the coffee shops were, and like the good company players, and the different like plays that would happen. And there was, I would look at that theater, and I would be like, man, one day I'd love to perform there. And I've performed there I think 3 times now, but just going back this last time, I was like, man, this is so cool. Like I have to really take it in. Like I was a 20-year-old comedian and I was dreaming to do it. And now I am as a, fully blossomed comedian, even though we're still growing every day. And I drove by the neighborhood that I used to live in, as an adult, not my childhood home, but just to kind of put myself back there. And it was interesting, Mike. Like some things,
that's very cool.
It was cool. Some things were the same, and some things had changed. Like there was this place and this is a Bumpkin activity. There was this restaurant we used to go to called the Chicken Pie Shop.
Yeah.
And I want to say now it's a Dollar Tree. It's gone. It's totally done. It's crazy. It's like it was known for
but you can get a chicken pie for $1 now.
Exactly. Yeah. It was known for like their 1950s decor and like that lime green kind of bench, like those booths. It was kind of ugly, but there's something about it that was kind of neat because you'd go in there and it was like a time warp. And this is even in the late 80s. You're like, whoa, I feel like I'm back in the 40s or 50s. And
one of my favorite coffee shops in all of Los Angeles, Fred 62, has a motif like that. And they used to be open 24/7, and now the pandemic, they're open like whenever we want to be open.
Yeah. When's that going to change? I think things are really popping open now. Like I'm seeing even people that were kind of underground and wouldn't do like shows or like go on. Yeah. Now I'm starting to see those kind of people coming out again. Like, all right, I guess we're, like the most fearful people that were like not trying to do anything are starting to really, it's 3 years now. Enough is enough. So I'm hoping that these restaurants will kick back into their 24 hours again.
Once they get business to support them.
Yeah.
they can start doing that. It's like I understand it. It's just annoying to me.
It's very annoying. Like when I go to like there's certain Starbucks, like I'm used to them being open till even with the pandemic hours. Like okay, now I know they close at 8, but then you'll go there at 7, and they're like, what the hell? Like they're just
they're like we meant 6:30. Get out.
exactly. Yeah, they cover up the.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't like that is happening all over with the pandemic. Is like you go to Ralph's, they're like we close at midnight. If you get there at 12:45, you should still be able to shop. But they turn people away now, and they're like, no, we're closing up.
Oh, you mean 11:45? You mean 15 minutes before?
Yeah, 11:45. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, it's 11:45, and they're like, go, tell your story walking, Buster. We're not
exactly. Because you're just gonna walk in there and grab your stuff and be out before.
Yeah, it's like I know what I want. I'm a grown man, not like some weird kid, who just dropped acid or something. I know what I'm doing, know. But they're like, no. Get out.
Okay, I'm gonna, and then we'll move on. I'm gonna put this in the smile file. I never told you. So I was gonna say, have an attitude of gratitude, you guys, and don't give up. And here's why I mean that, because I went in there with, I'm like the best intentions. I crushed every show, was really cool with everyone, and then the promoter sends me a text. They said, Darren, we'd like to thank you for the amazing talent and energy you bring to the show. Great performance. Be safe going home. See you soon.
That's great.
That's great, because I could have easily been like, I'm not taking that gig. That guy never writes back, and but I didn't. I was like, no, man, we're gonna.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's awesome that it worked out that way, and I think that's just the way to do this in general is maintain a level of professionalism.
Yeah.
If someone really has a problem with you and doesn't want to work with you, maybe it's just not meant to be.
Yeah. Or maybe not meant to be at that time, maybe
at that time, yeah. And it may have nothing to do with you. They may be going through their own stuff or whatever.
Yeah, maybe they were like, we just want to book, like music acts, or maybe he wasn't booking as many comedy shows, or the ones he was booking were all, because I did talk to him, but, nothing about, I never once was like, hey man, did you ever get my message? I didn't even bring that up. I act like,
Right.
In fact, the first thing he said to me is, I got to get your number. So, okay. All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing too, is like sometimes people's stuff changes and they don't know that they gave you a dead contact.
Yep.
And you've been calling this old number or emailing this old email, and they never get it,
Right. Yeah. Because, I might have been, I was thinking about that. Like the number I used to reach him was, I think he had a day job. Like he was some sort of, I don't know. I think he worked for the city or something. So maybe that could have been it. I don't know. But, I have another country bumpkin activity that I was going to tell you about.
Yeah.
All right. This is interesting. Hold on 1 second. Let me clear my throat. So, as you know, it's funny how we went from a drought to like floods. Like it just nonstop rain, and like the pathways for the water, like the snowpack is melting, so water's rushing, and man, all the overflow canals were like it looked like a river up there, man. And then when I was on the 99 freeway, there was apparently the 99 was closed both ways at one point. When I was there, you could still pass, but then you look and dude, it looked like a lake to the right, like it was all through the orchards, and I was like, oh my goodness. And they said that it's flooded near the Corcoran prison, like this whole the 43 freeway is shut down, and they were like, they were like. In 1850, this used to be a lake. Like there was a lake, and then a town was built on top of it. And I guess they've been able to keep the water through the years, like through dams and other like waterways, and probably like drought conditions. But man, it was flooding.
Yeah,
but it was interesting.
It's crazy. The LA River has water in it again. And it was like that was the joke for the longest time. The LA River is empty.
Yeah, you'd see people like drag racing in there, or whatever, like in movies and stuff. But
yeah.
But I saw a lot more ducks and geese this time than I've ever seen, and it was really cool to see them. I was like, wow. And but it was slightly annoying. Like I was going to tell you the story. I was on my way after I filled the car up with gas, and I'm on my way to the little highway, and then there was I think they're geese, but at first I thought they were ducks. And they're all in a row, and they're crossing the road, and I'm coming right towards them, and I'm honking my horn, and they just like, they didn't stop. And then I got really close, and the one guy, the leader, he finally turns his head at me like, "What the hell are you?" And I just went, and I went around him.
Here.
Yeah, I'm walking over here. And I looked it up. I'm like, what's wrong with these things? Are they not afraid? Are they just? I don't
They're
get it.
stupid.
Like,
They're animals. They don't know about traffic.
yeah, it's weird because I remember like I saw a couple of ducks or geese or whatever they were when they were sitting on like a log, and I pulled out my phone to take a picture, and then they like took off. So I'm like, okay, they are afraid, but maybe as a car they don't recognize that we're people in there or something. I don't know, but so
Yeah.
so here's what I found. It said I asked the question: are geese fearless? Or are they just not very smart? and then people are writing in with their experiences. They said, there's a reason for the English expression silly goose. They aren't the most intelligent bird on earth. I don't think they are pricelessly fearless. I think they are fairly dumb in certain respects. They don't realize that they should be afraid except in very obvious cases. It says,
Yeah.
once I was walking with my youngest daughter near a lake. She was 7 years old. Suddenly, a large white goose charged us, honking and flapping his wings to scare us. I'm 6'4" and around 210 pounds, and I know quite a few martial arts. I sidestepped the charge and caught the goose with a very hard front-rising kick to its belly.
He fought a goose?
Yeah, he said he kicked it. He said it was quite dramatic. It lifted the damn goose about 2 meters in the air, and it splashed into the lake with squawks and considerable flappings of wings. It then made its escape. My wife, standing nearby, said, "Goal!" The goose probably went elsewhere for his whatever, blah, blah, blah.
What a crazy man.
Yeah, then other people are like,
Karate kick a goose.
I know. He's like, I'm honking, and then they're honking back. And this other guy like apparently works at a zoo. He's a groundskeeper, and he said that the Canadian goose are like really the Canadian goose eats 3 pounds of forage per day and poops 2 pounds, and that's 200 pounds of goose
Just like
poop.
me.
Yeah, that's over 200 pounds of goose poop. He says, and. He said, the point is, I don't think they're fearless or smart. They're lazy. They'll move, but it's in their own time unless you force the issue. I wouldn't.
Right.
He goes, I wouldn't, because he said when he drives past them at 12 miles an hour, they'll eventually get out. He goes, I wouldn't do it at 20 miles per hour, but they certainly can get out of the way of my golf cart. Here we go. This shout out to our Canadians out there. Apparently, Canadian geese, particularly the Canadian ilk, are just aggressive and mean. It's the inability to recognize a threat and then get them getting angry at the situation when they do. Wow.
They're the opposite of Canadian people, who are very polite and very slow to anger.
Yeah,
now, the goose is kind of related to the turkey, right?
I think so.
They're similar.
Oh, yeah. At least on
species.
Yeah.
Turkeys are so stupid that they can drown in heavy rain.
Really?
Just they'll look up at it. They're so amazed that water is coming out of the sky that they go into kind of like a trance. And if the farmer doesn't like push them around and or put something over them, they will just keep drinking in rain until they die.
That's funny. All this goose, duck, and turkey talk is making me kind of hungry, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Go have a club sandwich after this.
I know. I've never had duck or goose. Have you?
I've had duck. I had it at a place called Crispy Pork Gang here in LA. And it was not my favorite dish there. They had a lot of other stuff that I liked a lot more. But to be fair, we had ordered like 50 things, and the duck was the last thing to come out. And they just kind of coated it in honey. There wasn't any other like seasoning or subtlety to it. It was just like, it's crispy duck.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was all right.
Yeah, like I like beef, chicken, turkey.
Like if...
Things like that. Pork, I guess.
for that kind of thing, there is a place in most food courts that's pretty popular called Sarku Japan,
Oh.
and they do just like grilled teriyaki chicken.
Mm.
And what I'll do that's kind of like a secret that people that know what they're doing do is I'll get it well done. And it's just they grill it a little bit longer because it's got like a little bit of breading on it.
Mm.
And it comes out like kind of a little bit crunchy, but it's still very juicy and flavorful. And they serve it with just rice and steamed vegetables.
Mm.
And it's so delicious when you get it that like it's one of the few things in a food court that I'm like, some days I'll wake up and I'll be like, okay, we got to go there before they close and get that.
Yeah.
And that'll be, and it's kind of a healthier meal. You can get it without the rice and you don't really lose anything. And you've just got protein and vegetables, like a pretty decent sized serving of both of those.
And what is it's been your what's it?
The place is called Sarku, Sarku, Japan.
Oh, I've seen that. Sarku, Japan.
You'll usually see a line there.
Oh wow! And
with
what?
good reason. You know?
And this is and this is duck that you order.
No, it's chicken.
Oh, chicken, dude! I'm gonna get it. Okay.
Like, but yeah, my whole point was that it's so much better than that duck was.
Oh yeah.
Just get something like that instead, and you'll be much.
Okay,
happier.
so we know it's called Sarku Japan, and what's the name of the dish?
It's just the chicken teriyaki or just the chicken plate.
Oh, okay.
But
cool.
you can do like extra chicken for a small amount, and it almost doubles it.
Oh, that's good. I have not had chicken teriyaki in a long time. Did you ever have, what do they call it? Not, gosh, what's that called? Beef jerky, like teriyaki jerky. You ever had teriyaki jerky?
No, I haven't. I've had. Well, that's not true. I've had the beef kind that's like spicy teriyaki beef, and I like that a lot. That's really
Sometimes
good.
it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Although I gotta say, like the last few times I've been tempted to get jerky, I'm like, no, let me just get a real meal. I don't need to like eat this.
Yeah, I'm the same way for the most part. But like, I like it if it's a little bit soft.
Mm.
You know, because some places are just out of control. They make it super, super hard jerky, and it's like, I really don't like that. But when it's like a little bit soft, it can be really, really delicious.
I remember I had some like salmon jerky that was so good. It was like, wow, basically you have a pouch of salmon and you're just snacking on it. It was good. It was really good. I'm like, but I was like, this can't be that good for me. I gotta let me just go have some real food. Like
a poison boy treat.
That's right, the poison. Oh, and I got another question for you. Do you like trail mix, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So I'm kind of picky about it, but yeah.
Oh, when you're picky, what do you look for in trail mix?
Not raisins. Like, I know everyone likes raisins in it. I just don't. But I like when they throw a couple M&Ms in there, but there's a point where it's a fine line between a couple M&Ms and just a sack of M&Ms with a few other things in there. I like Chex Mix does like their own cheese themed Chex Mix. Have you ever had?
I think I've had those on airplanes.
Those are very good. Gordettos. They have the rye chips in them. I hate rye by itself, but the rye chips in Gordettos are like the thing that everyone tries to take. You know, like it's the popular thing in the mix, and they're very, very good. And in fact, I think every once in a while they'll do a thing where it'll just be a bag of those, like they made a mistake and they will sell a bag of those. Kind of like how Captain Crunch will just do all crunch berries sometimes.
Oh yeah. Where you're like, I don't know. I do like. I mean, I have not had Captain Crunch in a long time. That was one of my favorite cereals as a kid.
Captain Crunch is a great cereal by itself, but Captain Crunch with crunch berries in it is just about perfect
Wow.
as like a breakfast cereal for a kid. It's
Yeah.
nutritionally, it's probably just under crack cocaine. But as far as like a breakfast cereal experience, it's perfect.
Yeah. If I were to go, let me see. If I were to go to, like my favorite breakfast cereals, for a kid, or let's say you're gonna just do it wild out of the wild blue, like once every blue moon. I'd say my top 3 would be Captain Crunch, Fruity Pebbles.
Oh yeah.
And what would the other one be? I don't know, because the other ones are. I mean, those are the best, right there. Captain Crunch, Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, those two are the best. I'll take a bowl of Frosted Flakes any day of the week.
Yeah.
They're, as simple as it is, it's that. Put a little milk on there, and that's as good as it gets.
So good, I know. And then you ever
I'd rather have that than Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Apple Jacks are for posers.
Right. Oh, I like that peanut butter one. Isn't there one that's kind of peanut buttery?
Reese's peanut butter.
Yeah, that's another one I use. Or you know what? I would go Captain Crunch, Fruity Pebbles, or chocolate Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Count Chocula?
Is that what it was? Or I think it might have been Fruity Pebbles, but it was chocolate.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they probably did the same thing.
Oh, maybe yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the other one that I always forget about, but I really, really love it when I get it. Can you guess what it is?
Shredded wheat?
No, I'm not an idiot.
Cocoa. It was called Cocoa Pebbles, by the way.
Or Cocoa Puffs is okay too.
Yeah. Honey, the honeycomb kid. Your honeycomb kid?
No, I'm not a honeycomb kid. Don't be an idiot, Darren.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms is very good. That's another one that's way up. It would be in probably my top 5. But this one,
gosh,
a little cereal called Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I was going to bring that up. So
Yep.
I went nuts. I went nuts on some Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Talk about Cinnamon Toast Crunch without someone saying I went nuts once.
I went nuts once, and I don't know if I had something earlier that day, but whatever reason, I got sick that night, and I blame that in my mind, that Cinnamon Toast Crunch, because I probably went to the whole box. I ate way too much.
Yeah.
And when you're not feeling well and you're sick,
Cinnamon Toast Crunch's fault for being awesome. It was your fault for trying to take too much awesome.
Yeah, and I just, in my mind, I just go back to that, this throwing up, and then Cinnamon Toast Crunch is coming back, and it was just so.
Cinnamon vomit is not as popular as seller.
There was a cereal back in the day. I'm looking this up. It was called. This sounds gross. It was called Fruit Wheats.
Ugh.
And it was strawberry flavored. Oh, this is a cool name, Yummy Mummy.
Yeah, there were the whole monster themed cereals like Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Fruit Brute,
Yeah.
Yummy Mummy,
Ghostly Blueberry.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Blueberry.
Count Chocula, yeah, Frankenberry. Oh my, I love those back then. Yummy Mummy. Ooh,
Yeah, and now they'll release them like every Halloween or so. And they've changed them around a little bit, but for the most part, it's the same thing.
There's another one called Fruit and Fiber.
That's not a cereal. That's just a generic.
It was called. I'm looking. It was by Post. Fruit and Fiber. Fiber was a dietary phenomenon in the 1980s. The nutrients that doctors and scientists said that would lower cholesterol and risk of heart disease. The two health boogeyman. They were that then as they are now.
Yeah. Half pound of sugar thrown into the bottle.
Oh, there's a cereal called Ice Cream Cones.
No.
How about Nut and Honey? Yeah, Nut and Honey's still around, right? Nut and Honey Crunchos.
Nut and Honey sucks.
Ugh, Rocky Road, that sucks. E.T. cereal. There's an E.T. cereal.
Yeah, there was a great Star Wars themed cereal called 3POs. And it looked like a data chain. And on the back of the box would be a different cutout mask of like C-3PO or one of the other Star Wars
That's
characters.
funny. Almond Delight.
I don't think so.
God, cinnamon. Yeah, and there's cinnamon Crust Punch. That was number one. It was the top cereal People,
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
they,
You know what, cereal? A lot of people. It's very divisive. A lot of people are super into it. To me, it seems like it's like you're eating a bowl of kidney
I
stones.
was just gonna say it, and I love it. Are you gonna say grape nuts?
I am gonna say grape nuts. Yeah,
I loved grape nuts, but here's the thing. I realized, you know why I love grape nuts? Because we used to pour sugar.
it sucks. I don't know.
Like I'd pour white sugar like on top of it, so it was
Oh,
so
well.
yeah. You would just like straight up just pouring sugar on top of grape nuts, and then as your spoon would be all crunchy as it's hitting the granules of sugar. It
Yeah.
was so good with the mixture. Oh yeah, it was. I love sugar. I don't love grape nuts. I love sugar.
I really like pancakes. You like the pile of sugar you put on top of that pancake.
Yeah. No, I love the syrup and butter. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, grape nuts. They so I got some trail mix here. You hear that? That's
Oh,
for
okay.
the
What's in there?
Well, I was wondering if you would like this, and I think I have my answer. My
Is it
wife
the
was
Cajun spice kind? Because that's pretty good.
my wife goes, "Oh, this one's out of this world," and I was like,
Oh.
and I had yogurt this morning. I'm like, okay, see, I usually go. Here's what I usually do for trail mix, any of this kind of stuff. I'm usually trying to think of health benefits. Like I don't care about.
How it tastes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not like, usually, you know what I mean? I'm going for like, what's the most, is it packed full of stuff so I'm still trying to get down to my wrestling weight back in high school.
Yeah.
So,
So you've got your sack of salmon and your trail mix.
yeah, you know what I mean? So I had my, my little cup of yogurt, and I think I had I was eating some, pistachios, just to give me a little energy. And she's like, "Oh my God, this is so good." And so I was like, "Well, let me try it." And I will tell you, in my opinion, and I know we may differ on this, it was really good. I'll tell you the name of it.
Okay.
Peanut Butter Monster.
That sounds pretty good. Well, now, what's in it?
Peanut butter chips. M&M's peanut butter chocolate candies. Peanut butter pretzel balls. Peanut butter cups. So far, nothing healthy.
So it's just candy. It's just a stack of candy, basically.
Oh, and then here's the two final ingredients: raisins
Goddamn.
and, of course, peanuts. Yeah. So it's like, it's not really healthy. It's more. I was thinking, you know what though? If I look at it like, should I eat ice cream at night or have one of these? This is probably better for me, I would imagine.
Maybe.
I don't know.
The jury's out on that. But it's a good thing to carry around in case a bear attacks.
You can throw the bear. Hey, Cocaine Bear, you want some peanut butter monster?
Yeah, eat this peanut butter crap instead of me. And
So-
then give me a
So
few more
when you
seconds
hear
to rub.
peanuts, is that when you're out, or you'll go with the peanuts?
Peanuts are okay, but I'd rather just have peanuts if I'm gonna do that.
And when you
know?
hear raisins, is that when you're out? You're like, nah, nah.
peanuts and raisins, it's like, why didn't you just make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Yeah.
You
'Cause
know,
I was.
it's kind of like there's like a thing that a lot of chefs are doing now that they think is really cool, and I really think it's not. Wolfgang Puck kind of started it,
Whoa.
where they just kind of lazily throw a bunch of ingredients together, and they're like, "You figure it out," like you, the customer. It's like,
Yeah.
no, that's what I paid you for. Like, I got a Caesar salad at a place like that, and it was these long strips of lettuce, and then off to the side a little pile of cheese, and then another pile of croutons, and another pile of dressing. And it's like, I don't have a mixing bowl. I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is you guys' job.
Yeah, like there's an I think it's called the iceberg wedge salad or the wedge salad.
Yeah, I hate that kind of shit.
Yeah, where it's like this giant wedge salad, like a half a lettuce, and then I was having dinner with Fraser one night, Fraser Smith, and he, for whatever reason, they didn't have a knife, and then he asked for a knife, and then they said, or the guy goes, or I could take it back to the kitchen and have the chef, and he goes, oh yeah, let's try that, and then the guy came back and he chopped up.
Have the chef do his job.
And Fraser goes, "Oh, this is the only way I'm going to order this salad now. This is way better." Like,
Yeah,
it's like
because I don't know what I'm doing. He does.
yeah, he's like cutting it with the butter knife, and like,
Like my big, I love fajitas. I'm a big fajita person,
Oh, me too.
but what I hate, and every place does it, is they do these long ass strips of meat.
Mm.
And so, like, when you bite into it, the entire inside of the fajita is dragged out with it, because it's this long strip of meat. So I end up having to cut them down to normal size. And it's like, the chef should have done this, not me,
Mm.
you know? I'm writing a letter.
I'm writing a letter.
All the fajita people.
Hey, I wanted to say real quick before we wrap this up. I was gonna. I asked you about a movie. It's Bill Murray and Harold Ramis. It's called Stripes. I go, have you ever seen Stripes?
Oh, phenomenal movie.
And you told me it was one of your favorite movies, and I was like, I go, I only watched half of it.
Yeah,
and I was
you
like,
have no faces.
yeah, and I was like wondering if I was like, well, maybe for the podcast, I'll just bring it up, and then just you could say how great it is, because I didn't want to be like,
I will
Yeah.
say how good it is. First of all, it's Bill Murray at his best. Harold Ramis, who's a brilliant comedian himself in his own right, plays his best friend, and they are guys who are a little bit over the hill joining the army. And the cast from that point on is phenomenal. It's all scenery chewing character actors. Judge Reinhold, John Candy, John Larroquette, Warren Oates plays the drill sergeant from the Dirty Dozen and a bunch of other amazing movies. He was a big Sam Peckinpah guy, and he just kills it in his part.
I'll say I really it moves for me. It moves slow, but that's okay.
Uh-huh.
And I also was watching it the last thing I was doing every night, so I think
Yeah.
I'd have to. You can't be watching.
It's like a late '70s movie, and it's
Yeah.
not one of those that you can watch while you're doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Get the- yeah.
Or like when you're ready for bed. Like I literally was like, it was like, okay, I'm ready for bed. Let's watch that movie. And so we'd watch about 25 minutes of it, and then like, oh, I'm a little tired. Like there was a scene where
Yeah.
where they went to bed. They're like, all right, night's out. Tomorrow you're gonna get up, rain or shine. And we're like, okay, hit pause. We'll continue right here. And then the next
Right.
night we watched another 20 minutes. And then my wife was like, I'm really tired. Let's just.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I've heard so much about this movie. There's gonna, yeah.
Can I ask? Have you gotten to the mud wrestling scene?
Yes, now that I liked. no.
Like,
I did like them. I did like it. I will say real quick before you tell me about that. We had just watched some Police Academy, so I know that they made Police Academy after Stripes.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was a lot like Police Academy, but Police Academy moved a little quicker. Like
Right.
here's misfits. They don't know what to do. They want to become cops, and then they're like, and this was
Yeah.
that same sort of thing, but like slower. I felt.
Yeah, I think it was the movie that kind of was the catalyst for a lot of those movies.
Which is sad. Like if you're the original, then everyone rips you off, but then the younger generation likes the rip-offs because they don't know the it's kind of weird. I guess that's just how art is sometimes.
Yeah, it's the same of like, the Beatles and what have you, and then there's like the blues bands before them that influenced them.
Yeah, we're like, no, I like, yeah.
It's just not as popular to them,
I love that phrase. Can you tell people what you said? That was hilarious. I watched about half the movie, then I went to bed, and I don't know if I'm going to finish it. And then you told me some analogies someone had about watching a documentary and spending a bunch of money.
I don't remember.
Oh.
I say a lot of shit.
Oh,
there.
dude, you're hilarious. I go, say that for the podcast. It was somebody had watched like the MC Hammer.
Oh, right. No, this wasn't an analogy that I made up. It was a thing that I saw on TV, and I can't remember the show, but this guy was just spending money like crazy, and his friend was like, didn't you ever watch the VH1 Behind the Music about MC Hammer? And he's like, I watched the first half.
Yeah, that's funny. That's how, yeah. But yeah, I love the mud wrestling scene. That was a really funny scene. I like that. And I like when they went into the captain's quarters and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
I liked John Candy's bunkmate, who he was always kind of ripping off. Like he's teaching him how to play poker and stuff like that, and he just keeps changing the rules on him. And Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff in there. Sean Young, I had such a crush on. The brunette
Oh yeah, they were cool. Those.
military police lady, and she went on to do Blade Runner and a bunch of other cool stuff, you know. But the music in that movie is very good too. It's military, but it sounds kind of wacky at the same time.
Yeah, it was this guy named Elmer Bernstein.
Elmer Bernstein, famous for the Ghostbusters soundtrack, he did all the music scoring the movie.
Yeah, his
And
name is
he,
very memorable.
yeah, and he has a real like fun way of like if you listen to the music, like pay attention to the music in Ghostbusters, it's really brilliant. Like there'll be like when they go in the library and you see slime coming off the file cabinets, the music goes like like it's oozing. It's
Yeah.
really cool. And just like I watched that movie probably 100 times, and at some point I just paid attention to the music more, and I was like, wow, the way they scored this is really terrific. It's so well done.
That's cool when you can just, yeah, I bet if you watched, I bet if you did that with everything, you'd notice something. Like if you watched a movie again and were like, this time I'm only going to focus on the background actors and just to see.
Yeah, I do that, or like another great movie, Bram Stoker's Dracula, that Francis Ford Coppola directed with Gary Oldman as Dracula and Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing, and it had like Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, all these great people. Tom Waits played Renfield in it. That movie was shot as a silent movie. And what I mean by that is you can watch that movie, turn the volume down completely, put on classical music or just the score from the movie, and you'll still be able to fully understand the story visually.
Wow.
You don't need the dialogue.
That must
dialogue
be,
is
wow.
kind of a bonus.
That's cool. That must be, yeah.
And on top of that, there's a point in there, it takes place at like the turn of the century.
Yeah.
And Dracula invites Mina Harker, who he thinks is the reincarnation of his lost love, to see the cinematogram, which is the new invention of the time. And it's like the earliest movie camera in the world. And during that scene at different points, Coppola uses that camera to shoot the scene. So there's a lot of, like, just in movies in general, you look at most movies and there's usually some cool little thing like that going on that nobody knows about. Like a current movie, John Wick.
Yeah.
John Wick Chapter 4. Terrific movie. Great tribute to Lance Reddick, who recently died, but he'd been a star of all four of the films. And kind of unintentionally, it was this perfect send-off for him. And they added a little dedication at the end. But in the movie, they do a lot of nods to other action movies that came before them. But in this one, there's a very, very big, prominent shout-out to the movie The Warriors. Have you ever seen that?
Where they go, Warriors, come out and play.
Yeah.
With the bottles or something. Ding, ding.
Yeah.
Ding, ding,
do you know
ding.
the story of The Warriors?
No.
The story is it's all the gangs in New York. This genius leader of one of them named Cyrus goes, hey, all the gangs of New York, come to this park and I'm going to have a talk with you guys.
Oh, cool. I wonder if the Poison Boys would have been invited.
The Poison Boys would definitely have been there.
They would have took a train from Fresno to New York.
Poison Boys, come out to play.
We're going to rearrange your freckles. No.
But so he gives this speech and he basically says, we outnumber the cops. If we work together, we run New York.
Wow.
But then someone fucking shoots him.
Ooh.
And the guy who shoots him blames it on the Warriors, like one of the faction. Yeah. And those guys are coming from Coney Island. So and it's old New York. It's not like Lyfts and Ubers and stuff like that. It's public transit. They have to get through all the other gang territories to get back home to where they're safe. And in the movie, there's a DJ who plays like disco music late at night, but she gives like coded messages, and so she's like, "This next dedication goes out to those boppers from Coney Island trying to get back home tonight." And it comes from all the other gangs, and then she plays "Nowhere to Run To, Nowhere to Hide," you know.
Nowhere to run. Oh, that's funny.
And in John Wick, they do a whole tribute to it, and it's fucking fantastic.
Wow, I saw, and we gotta wrap up because we're running out of time. But I saw Steve Simone had posted some video. He's like, "This movie's incredible. It's so good. It's like I'd put it up there with Rocky. It might even be better than Rocky." I think he said something like that, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's pretty
About
big."
John Wick?
Yeah, the one that you just mentioned, John Wick 4.
Yeah.
I've never seen any of the John Wick movies. Could I just go to the John Wick 4 and get it?
You could, but the other three are a lot of fun.
I know he fights people, shoots people. That's what I'm picturing. I don't know.
It's not just the fighting and shooting, it's why he's doing it that makes it so interesting. And the whole like underworld that they set up, whole culture of criminals, and how there's a weird sort of honor to all of it, and a structure, and like people you don't piss off, and all that sort of stuff. It's really, really a great series.
Yeah. I remember, because I remember one time we went to Universal Studios and I hadn't seen a lot of the movies there, and so all the characters are, playing like they're, and everyone was excited. Oh my God, that's that! But I didn't know any of the movies that they were imitating. And I was like, but I did. Yeah, I was kind of like, okay, why is that guy wearing a black? They're from the Blues Brothers. I had never seen the Blues Brothers, but I liked the music.
Wow!
And then I saw the Blues Brothers, but at the time, this is about 11 years ago. We took our son and they were up there singing and stuff and acting like they're working at a restaurant, and like. Everybody needs somebody. I need you. Yeah. I was like, I like the music. And then they had that old.
So good. Ray Charles scene alone.
Yeah. I was like, why are they pulling up in an old car? I didn't know any of this stuff. I didn't know that they were like,
When they're like, this organ's all played out, and he goes, let me show you something. He sits down and starts playing it. It's just incredible.
Oh my gosh! Hey, listen,
James Brown in there.
Oh, I know, Mike.
Aretha Franklin.
Oh wow, I know.
Oh my God.
What's his name? Kid Calloway? No, Calloway.
Cab Calloway.
Yes,
yeah.
Cab Calloway.
Yeah.
God, there's
that's a great movie.
Every now and then I'll put on Spotify Blues Brothers soundtrack just because that music gets you going. It's so good.
Yeah.
Sweet Home Chicago. Yeah, it's so good. All right, Mike, thanks for joining us on the Pocket Party Podcast. Always great catching up with you and talking, and let's talk soon. And if you want, I'll give you some of this peanut butter monster.
Yeah, I'm just gonna steal it from you when I see it.
Yeah. Do you think you would eat it if I brought you a pack, or not really?
Sure. Yeah, I'll give it a whirl. I'm not going to say no. I'll give it a try. I'm not going to try the sack of salmon, but I'll try
a sack of salmon. Step right up, folks. There's a new comedy team. No, I'm chucking salmon packs to you. Yeah, I'll probably see you at the Comedy Store tonight if everything works out.
Yeah, probably. I'm doing that other little one in the valley. I forget the name of it.
Oh yeah, that one on Lancashire.
Stoker's Wild.
Oh, cool. The Universal Bar and Grill. All right, buddy. Go there and shine your shoes, and then go to the Comedy Store and show them off.
Sounds good. I'll see you later, brother.
You got it, my man.
Have a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Look at you. You made it all the way through another episode of the Pocket Party Podcast. Thank you guys so much for enjoying your day with us and taking us along for the ride. If you have an Apple phone, an iPhone, do us a favor and go to the podcast app and give us 5 stars and a little review. Just write something nice. It really helps out the show, helps out that algorithm. If you're on YouTube, go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Darren Carter on YouTube, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, guys, have a great day. Love you. Bye.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party.